Hi, I'm Mark Mittelberg, and I was asked to say a few words about William Lane Craig, and I was thrilled to do it because Bill Craig is, for me, not only a teacher and sort of a mentor, but in many ways my hero. I first met William Lane Craig when I was a student at Trinity Evangelical Divinity School in Deerfield, Illinois. I went mostly to study apologetics and was thrilled to have Dr. Craig be one of the professors there, as well as Stuart Hackett and some others. Bill Craig, just the way he taught, the confidence he would inspire in us as students, that Christianity is true, and any questions that come up, any doubts, any attacks and challenges, there are answers to it. And if we would just study, if we would think clearly, if we would do our research, truth was on our side. And you always felt that from Dr. Craig. He embodies that in ways that just inspire confidence in others. After I graduated, I went on to be involved in ministry at Willow Creek Community Church. I was the first director of evangelism there in suburban Chicago. And one of the first things I did, along with my ministry partner, Lee Strobel, is decided to line up a debate between an atheist and a Christian. And this kind of thing wasn't done much in the U.S. at that time. But I knew Bill Craig was doing it over in Europe, and he was doing it in Canada and other places. So I told Lee Strobel, I said, I've got the guy for our side. He said, who is it? And I told him about Dr. Craig. We made a phone call. At the time, Dr. Craig was over in Belgium. He had one date that worked for him that summer, so we worked around it. And we had just an incredible event. In fact, it's kind of gone down in apologetic folklore because of the ways God used it. I mean, almost 8,000 people came that night. It gridlocked traffic around the church for about 2 miles. Thousands of people rushed into the auditorium that night, and there was just this sense of anticipation. And then Dr. Craig got up, and he was just spectacular.
We've still yet to hear any good reason to think that God does not exist. Now, don't use up my time here. Mr. Zingler says you can't prove a universal negative.
By the end of the night, we were almost feeling sorry for the atheist because he just didn't have anything to say that could stand up to the truth as it was presented by this master communicator and debater, Dr. William Lane Craig. So that was an exciting night. Later, I brought Dr. Craig back in to speak to our Defenders ministry that we had started to raise the value of apologetics and to train people to defend their faith there at Willow Creek. But then I moved on and moved to California. Now I'm in Colorado. But as I've gone different places, I've just had the thrill and privilege of partnering with Dr. Craig, doing a number of simulcasts with him, speaking at conferences together, keeping up with him through his books, and now through this fabulous website, reasonablefaith.org. I go to it constantly because if I want a clear and thorough and reliable answer, I know I can go to Dr. Craig. And I find myself constantly watching the little video clips that he puts out. I follow him on Twitter, and I'm constantly watching those. And I just feel like I'm in an ongoing mentoring relationship, even though he lives in Atlanta and I live in Denver. So I just want to say I appreciate Dr. Craig so much. Reasonable Faith, the ministry that he started, is a fabulous organization. They put out great materials. I love these newer videos they've done to really explain and make clear in a creative way some of the arguments, the cosmological argument, the teleological argument, the moral argument, and others. Fantastic stuff. And even for those people who don't study apologetics and don't quite get all the arguments, even after they watch the great videos and listen to some of the teaching, one thing they do is vicariously get the confidence in the sense that they go, I don't even get it, but there's a guy who does. There's a guy who is not afraid of anyone in the world or any argument in the world, and he can stand up to him. He can debate him, and he will win. And, when it's all done, I really think a lot of Christians, they go, I maybe got 40% of that, or maybe 60%, but I didn't get all of it, but I know our side wins. I know truth is on our side. And they feel that because of the not only the expertise and the knowledge of Dr. Craig, but the heart. I mean, his authenticity comes across, his passion, his love, and ultimately his testimony for Jesus Christ. So thank you, Dr. Craig. Thank you, Reasonable Faith. And for anyone, trying to figure out a ministry they can trust, a ministry they might want to get behind, Reasonable Faith is a great place to support, and I do it myself. So I hope that's some helpful thoughts for you. I hope that encourages you. God bless.